Again, the NWA Women's Champion Tasha Simone joining me right here on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. Tasha, let's get started. How did your wrestling career get started?
I won't name drop because the name really isn't important. However, my great-grandfather did work for a very famous wrestling promoter who most people are too stupid to even know his name, Mr. Leroy McGurk. He ran Tri-State Wrestling Promotion, which later on became Mid-South Wrestling when Bill Watts stole the territory from a very famous blind man by the name of Leroy McGurk, in case anybody missed that. I was the only female in my age group. I grew up around some of the best wrestlers that have ever set foot in the ring: Danny Hodge, Luthez, the Funks, people who really made this business what it is. When I made the decision to become a professional wrestler, I never wanted to be Moolah because I thought she was horrible. I wanted to be Mr. Wrestling 2 or Bruiser Brody, and it really didn't matter which. My family never supported me, so as I progressed, I married a very, very well-known man. Hello.
Right.
I met a very famous man by the name of Gentleman Chris Adams, and he and James Beard took me under their wing and taught me how to be the professional wrestler that I am today.
And you call yourself the ambassador, not just for women's wrestling, but for NWA as well. With that said, what's your thoughts on women's wrestling when you first entered the business compared to what it is right now?
I can't respond to that because the first 2 years I was in professional wrestling, I never touched a woman. I don't have a lot of respect for professional women's wrestling. I am not a swimsuit model. I have no respect for swimsuit models in the ring. You either want to be a wrestler or you don't.
You know, that's definitely been a lot of knock on professional wrestling, especially WWE. You know, their case of what women wrestling is and short matches and stuff. You know, the Kellys and the Bella Twins. You know, like Kelly, you know, there's been a lot of there's just been a lot of knock on women wrestlers, especially those who are quote unquote models, and I feel like
they're not wrestlers. They're models, and when they get in the ring, they look like friggin' swimsuit models who need to eat a biscuit. If they want to be a wrestler, they need to get in the ring, get a tooth knocked out, have a nose broken, and be a freaking wrestler. If they don't want to be a wrestler and get hurt and get hit hard, they need to get their narrow little asses out of my ring. Period.
There you go. Let me also ask you this, Tasha. Go back to a few months ago. It was back in March, I believe, and you had a match with Tiffany Rocks, and I believe it was for veterans and
The Wounded Warriors Project. Anybody who respects the United States should respect our veterans, and you need to look up woundedwarriorproject.org. This is an organization that benefits the men and women who serve our country that are coming back after active duty from injuries and other things, and this project helps them to get back into mainstream society.
Absolutely, and I give a lot of props to the fighting men and women who defend our country. They make the ultimate sacrifice, and to see you and Tiffany and the rest of the wrestlers did that, it just shows that there's people in this country actually care about the troops. So I say most kudos to you and Tiffany and the rest of the wrestlers out there. Do you have any upcoming matches, Tasha?
We are working on, it's very difficult to get women to get in the ring with me. Apparently I hit really hard. I will take on anybody who wants to challenge me, but I will guarantee you they will find out I may not have invented the pile driver, but I damn sure perfected it when they get in the ring with me. I'm not the champion because I'm a mark for wearing a piece of leather around my waist. I'm the champion because I earned it. Right now, I am managing Simply Perfection, Eric the Dragon Andrews, and Derek Taylor. He is the real deal, by the way. And they are the NWA Top Rope Southern Tag Team Champions. Eric Andrews is also the NWA Top Rope Tennessee Heavyweight Champion. We work as a team very often. I, as a matter of fact, teamed with Derek Neal last weekend. And as soon as we find a woman who's willing to crawl in the ring with me, absolutely, I will be defending the belt again. I'm in talks with NWA Mountain States right now, as well as NWA Fusion, which is booked by a young man that I helped train, the Nympho Mofo, Mark Rivera, one of my very favorite people in the whole wide world. And I also was talking today with NWA Pro South out of Piedmont, Alabama. And, of course, we're always raring to go back to NWA Houston to show why we are taking over the NWA.
Is there any wrestlers out there that you haven't had a chance to work with, but would you want to be in the ring with or against? Is there any people that you haven't worked with but would like to work with someday?
As far as wrestling against them or working with in general?
Against.
I would love to have a match with Sarah Del Rey. She's one of the few women that I see in the ring now that carries herself as a professional wrestler and not a diva.
I'm definitely a huge Sarah Del Rey fan. She's just one of those that makes you appreciate women's wrestling, and especially yourself. So yeah, I would love to see that Tasha Simone versus Sarah Del Rey. That will be a 5-star match. That has it written all over it. Let me ask you this, Tasha. What's your take on some other companies such as WSU and Shimmer? What's your take on both companies?
Well, as I said, I'm controversial. I have not been a party to seeing WSU matches, so I won't speak one way or the other on them. I will say that they have a young lady working for them that I would also like to work, and that's Mercedes Martinez. I have a lot of respect for her work. As to Shimmer, I don't believe, and I really don't care who gets pissed off about what I'm about to say. You either want to be a wrestler or you want to be a dancer. If you choreograph what you do, you're not a professional wrestler.
Oh,
Plain, period, and simple. Do I think that there are women in Shimmer that are wrestlers? Absolutely. I am not saying that there is not a girl in the company that is a wrestler, because there is. But do I respect choreography in a wrestling ring? No.
all right. My next question is, Tasha, what would your advice be to anyone out there, male or female, that wants to pursue their career as a wrestler, that wants to get into the wrestling business? What would your advice be?
Wow, that's a loaded question. This is something that I talk about weekly on To Be Determined, Pro Wrestling 247radio.com, or on every Wednesday night. There's a lot of things about professional wrestling that have been lost. So training for professional wrestling is very much like the fast food industry now. You have a training center on every corner, just like you can find a McDonald's and a Starbucks. Does that make every single one of those training centers reputable? No. You need to find out where these trainers have been, who they have trained, and see the work that they put out as well. You would never go and let somebody give you a tattoo if you've never seen the artwork that they do. Why in the hell would you be stupid enough to go into a wrestling training center when you've never seen the quality of the person who's training? Professional wrestling has become too accessible. If you have access to the internet and a credit card, you can buy any belt and be any champion you want to be. You can buy a ring. Most people are too cheap to buy the boots and the tights, but they will buy the belts and the ring and call themselves professional wrestlers. That's simply not how it is. People need to learn the history of our sport, and they need to start respecting what we do. What I do isn't fake. You come train with me, I will hurt you. I will do it on purpose, because if I hurt you and you keep coming back, then you want to be a professional wrestler. If you don't want to be a professional wrestler and you find out that it hurts and you don't want to keep being hurt, that's fine. Buy a ticket with the rest of the marks, because we still need fans to watch us kick ass like we do every single night of the week. The fact of the matter is, if everybody could wrestle, there wouldn't be any fans to watch the people who wrestle.
Again, I'm joined with the NWA Women's Champion, Tasha Simone, right here on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. Seeing that you're very opinionated, not afraid to speak your mind, and I appreciate your honesty. Let me ask you, what's your take on the TNA knockouts? People obviously speak highly of them, but what does Tasha feel about the knockouts?
Who speaks highly of them? When do you ever see a real match with them? I think TNA hosts one of the best female professional wrestlers in the business today. They call her Sarita. I know her as Sarah Scott. Do they show her the quality of her work? Absolutely not. They waste her talent. She can outwork half of the men on their roster. Do I have a lot of respect for the rest of them? I watched Tara when she started out with Steve Bradley in Memphis, Tennessee. I commend her for the steps that she has taken to become the wrestler she is. I think Alexis Lurie is not allowed to show her talent in the ring. ODB is better than she's shown. Other than that, I really couldn't tell you anything about any of the girls on their roster. Nor do I care. I don't watch wrestling on television because I don't think it's wrestling. I think it's a soap opera. And I think that the fans need to decide whether they are professional wrestling fans or whether they're soap opera fans. Because if they're soap opera fans, General Hospital and Days of Our Lives comes on Monday through Friday. They don't have to waste their time staying up at night to watch the crap in the evenings.
And again, you can follow Tasha on Twitter at Tasha Simone NWA. Check her out, follow her, and keep a lookout on NWA for more info. Tasha, it was great talking to you. It's an honor to have you, the NWA Women's Champion, on the show. And again, you can listen to her on pw247radio.com on Wednesdays. Be on the lookout for that as well. Again, thank you for your time, Tasha. Do you have any final words?
No, not at all. If anybody would like to book me, you can contact me at Tasha Simone, NWA, at gmail.com. You can also follow me on Facebook, Tasha.Simone1 at Facebook.com. If you want to book me, make sure it's a serious inquiry. Don't be a douchebag and just contact me just for the sake of saying, oh, my God, I talked to Tasha, because I will hurt your feelings quickly. I'm a professional wrestler, and I will only accept being respected as a professional athlete. If you want a pair of tights made by a world champion, you can also contact me at TashaSimoneNWA at gmail.com. I guarantee you it'll be the best pair of tights you've ever put on your behind. And don't forget my two guys, Eric the Dragon Andrews and Derek Neal. We're all available for bookings. All you have to do is contact me. And, of course, follow me on Twitter where, yes, you are very privileged to see my opinion daily.
And I'm looking forward to interviewing Eric and Derek next month. I think I have Eric on June 21st and Derek on the 28th of June. So I'm looking forward to interviewing them both.
Absolutely, and no matter what they say, I run this.
All right. And again, thank you for your time, Tasha. You have a good night.
Thank you so much, honey. You have a great night, too.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was the NWA Women's Champion, Tasha Simone.